Hey guys, Dungeon Saber Duelist here, back for another video, but this time we are doing a review of Hogwarts Legacy, digging into like the character creator, the world builder, what we thought of the story, content, spells, and even the mods that I used in the playthrough. Let's get into it.
Step into the Dueling Dimension Gaming Tavern.
So, as you guys can see, the game takes place in the 1800s, long before Harry Potter was even born or thought of, because that takes place in the 1990s. And as you can see, we're still using carriages, and even the Muggle world looks old like it does in the 1800s. There's some of the steam in the background. So now we can move on into the character creator. Welcome to character creation, which I feel is kind of extensive, but we did put some mods on. I don't know why, but I did not, maybe that one for men, but I didn't like a lot of these defaults. I always seem to pick the female with this one. I don't know why, but I did. But that's where you kind of start as far as picking a default character, so to speak, and then from there you can edit it. Now you can use some of these, like these ones here are mods that were installed, which can do, different things here. I think I kind of left it defaulted, or I kind of went with that. Or something similar. The skin color, I like white. Sorry. These glasses are pretty bad. So I start with no glasses, because you can't actually choose the glasses till you're in game that we want. The hairstyle, I think most of these styles, they're okay. Like that one's nice, but the one I was talking about, and the ones that I like because of mods, is this one, because it actually doesn't get stuck in clothing of any sort. This one seems to, certain outfits, it'll stick out the back through the clothing. Same with this one. So I always seem to go with this on my female characters. The complexion is up to you. Like there's different complexions. But let's just go with that on this. Freckles, I always seem to remove all the freckles. I like freckles, but whatever. Scars, it's a Hogwarts student. I know they've gone through some stuff, but I don't see why you would need scars at all. So I turn scars off. The eye color, I believe, is up to you, but there's quite a lot of colors here. I normally leave it, I think, at the default, or maybe I change it just a tad. Like I normally leave it there or here. Eyebrow color, just leave it the same, I guess. Eyebrow shape, I don't really care on the shape. It's fine. I just kind of leave it default. But you guys can pick whatever you want. Um, there's only two voices, which is, well, there's only two default tone for the voice.
That was quite something.
I am indeed a student, but I could very well be able to help you.
So the left one is more male,
It was wonderful. I believe I'm really going to enjoy this class.
and then you can choose the pitch.
I'm eager to get to Hogsmeade. A few cobwebs and some dust. Nothing to be concerned about.
I'm eager to get to Hogsmeade. A few cobwebs and some dust. Nothing to be concerned about.
So that's all the sounds for the voice 1, but then there's voice 2.
It was wonderful. I believe I'm really going to enjoy this class.
And this is more on the feminine side.
I am indeed a student, but I could very well be able to help you.
And I normally use the last two.
I'm eager to get to Hogsmeade. That was quite something. It was wonderful. I believe I'm really going to enjoy this class.
And then you can choose.
It was wonderful. I believe I'm really going to enjoy this class.
You can choose between witch and wizard. The only thing that really does, from what I've realized from playing it in game, is whether you wake up in a girl's dormitory or a boy's dormitory. It's honestly personal preference. Like, whatever you guys want to do, it doesn't matter. Like, you can have a feminine voice but be a wizard, or a male voice and be a witch. It doesn't matter. Well, I forgot to go over one important aspect of the modding I did, which is the hair color. So you can change it to any one of these many colors. I normally stick with like a red, which is down here in the middle somewhere. At least I haven't, or I go black. But that's like all the hair colors with the mod that we installed. So that's the default. All right, so that's the addition that I completely forgot to put in there. So now to look at the world and atmosphere. Obviously on this character, I am definitely using a Gryffindor. So there is that. Crank this to 100 again. So I will take you on tours of certain places. Let's So right now we're in Gryffindor Tower with the common room. Now there's some places I can only get because of yeah. Yeah, Gryffindor common room. We can get into the Hufflepuff common room. And you guys can see that this is the Hufflepuffs. Ravenclaw Tower.
I'd better keep an eye on high places. All for Zenobia's gobstones.
Oh, that's Ravenclaw Tower. I want the common room. So there's the Ravenclaw common room.
I find it jarring to see someone like Professor Weasley.
But you can't do this under normal circumstances. Just saying. And the Slytherin common room, which I have heard that people have seen a basilisk, but I'm not a Slytherin, so
Expulse.
I was distracted by Peeves and ran face first into Adelaide Oaks the other day. Our books went flying.
so you know, interesting. Common room. And now we will actually look around. Through the grand elevator.
What are you up to now?
So we can actually look around the Great Hall. Sometimes it's students, sometimes it's food. Oh, can I not get out?
It's me, Gareth. Do you have a moment?
The entry hall that goes in for the first time, I believe, and the courtyard. And you can teleport to any of those places, but
Look like you've seen a ghost.
If only. Get away! All of
they made the castle of Hogwarts rather big. Especially on the outside. Like that's, I believe, astrology, maybe. And like the Highlands is annoying to me. There's quests everywhere. But it is very open world. Now as we come into Hogsmeade, normally you wouldn't be able to fly in, but I am flying in because it's just easier. I kind of wish Hogsmeade was a little bigger because Hogwarts is so huge, but Hogsmeade isn't. But maybe it's just not supposed to be. But the Highlands just seems kind of meh. I think they could have expanded what goes on between Hogwarts and Hogsmeade a little more. But yeah, that's the one. But yeah, there's like honeydukes and basically all of the important places. Bread and Peck. Definitely seems a little spread out.
Oh,
Driven Hat,
please, can't we take these socks back to
Dallas
Wither Hill and get me
Bergs.
some normal ones?
And you can always use the map to find anything you're looking for. There's tomes and scrolls. Here's the one place that we should visit. Ollivanders. And they have that stacked high, but I kind of wish it was a little higher, to be quite honest with you. And more wands, but you know, we're in Hogsmeade, not Diagon Alley. It's very open world. That was on accident, but yeah, it's very open world.
Mine now, demiguise.
But then you can navigate to all of these places. Like there's Hogwarts, there's Hogsmeade, the Oranshire, and like all of these freaking places everywhere. We're actually going to just fly somewhere. But yeah, like the cliff sides and trees, lots of trees. And the flying is interesting. And then we will move into combat. So moving into combat was interesting. I better turn this down for you guys. Like you can do Protego like that. Some curse spells. And then like there's one of our curses. So, but you don't always have to use this. There's like the normal cast. So I feel like combat is rather fluid. I just wish there was more of these spells in the base game. And also more ways to do said spells. And then there's the special, which is story part. And then there's the collections.
I've seen you, Jewel. Your strategies won't work on me.
I have no idea who that was. I don't understand why that's not going down, but okay. That was too easy. Yeah, and it reflects. So yeah, that's something else you can do. So now we're gonna look at customization and progression of the game, like spells and that type of thing. So the level is different. You don't get experience for killing enemies or anything. You do get it for like completing quests, and you get it for collecting pages in your notebook and getting different gear, but you actually don't get anything for killing enemies at all. Now the gear is interesting because one, you can make it look however you want by customizing it, but you have different levels of gear. Like there's greens, which are common, nothing exciting about them. There's the blues, which you can actually put traits on those. There's purples, also traits, normally better. And the greens can't upgrade. The blues you can upgrade. The purples you can upgrade, and so can the oranges. The oranges are normally the strongest. So it goes a green, a blue, purple, and orange. And that's the way any of them are. And there's the glasses that we're using, which will be discussed later in the mods section. But these are the modern glasses that I'm using. Hat, I hate hats on this. I absolutely despise them. Scarves also, they just look too meh. The school robes can be changed at any point. And then for me, at least, if I push the square on this, like I can change the appearance to any of these. Now, this is what I was saying about the dark magic, or at least later I'll be talking about the dark magic. Some of the outfits don't work. So that was a big problem. You can customize what the broom looks like if you unlocked more brooms or did it through mods. I don't think I didn't put the Nimbus or anything on this one. So this is the best one, in my opinion, you can get just through buying it from the shop. And then flying mounts, you have a couple selections. I'm not sure what that one is, but you have the high wing. You also have the Caligo. They're both. Shoot, can't remember at the moment. Now I have to be kind of dumb. Hippogriff. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Hippogriff. And then there's these guys, which can only be seen threshold. If I would have looked, it says hippogriff right there. Sorry. But yeah, thresholds can only be seen once you see somebody die. So there is that. Talents are interesting. They kind of make stuff happen depending on what you choose. Like, here's all the spells you can unlock, and yeah, if you don't unlock a spell, you can't activate the talent. And because of the mods I installed, I actually can't pick up these two at the bottom. It's weird. I know on another character I was able to. But yeah, I think it's where you click. Yeah. That one can only be there, apparently. Okay, we learned those. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Augmenti, I didn't learn. Cascade Barrage. Yeah, so because I didn't learn those spells, I can't do it. Dark Art's the same thing. But yeah, a lot of these do different things. This is a bigger talent tree than what you normally get, just because I did mods on this character specifically. And normally, unless you complete everything, you're not going to be able to get all these at all. So depending on what talents you choose and what spells you choose, you can actually play the game in different ways. I prefer full frontal assault. Just go all in, attack everything, kill, and leave. You can actually upgrade the room requirement as well. You know, it affects potion effects and focus potions and your cabbage, which is interesting. Collection settings, outpost quest map. And gear can be upgraded, and then you have all of the spells. Not all of these were in the base game, because I did add a bunch through mods. I like to have one of each, because you can switch like this. Now, I am using a controller that's hooked up to my PC to play this. It just felt more natural with a controller for me. Sorry if that disappoints you all. Without getting too far into side quests, there are some side quests that allow you to get the forbidden spells, unforgivable curses, which are all green. These three are transfiguration. I don't use those too much except for room of requirement. Then you have utilities, which the only one I really used was the apparate. This one was interesting, but I didn't use it. That animates. The health one I never really used. Disillusionment you have to use at times. Reparo, same thing. Wingardium Leviosa, same thing. Fire spells, I call them fire spells, but damage spells. That one was useful for getting through certain areas. Expecto Patronum was literally not useful at all. Expelliarmus definitely useful because you could take their weapon and hit them with it. Especially swords. Swords were always fun. That was decent. This one summons spiders, so that animation there is incorrect. Configure that was definitely a well-used spell for me. Bombarda also useful. Pulso Incendio was okay. This one also okay. A lot of fire spells. Cursed Flames. These ones didn't really do damage, but you needed them for protective barriers at times. And these were like control spells, like freezing them and stopping them and that type of thing. And then we will move into the story aspect of the game. So the story was kind of interesting because first you start as a nobody fifth year, which no one's ever heard of a fifth year joining the Hogwarts as a fifth year. You know, you always start as a first year at 10 or 11. Harry was 11. And then you run into having ancient magic. And then ancient magic does some weird things. Which, you know, with the ancient magic, you're able to do weird freaking abilities. And then you find out that there was some evil magic hidden away in these repositories from people's emotions, which was different. And then you find out there was an evil witch that went against people that also had your abilities, which were the keepers, timekeepers, or something like that. That's a new one. And then after you do all of their tasks, they finally reveal where the final repository is, which is currently where this game is headed. And then you have to fight the final goblin who uses the repository. So overall I think it is a very interesting story.
These tunnels haven't brought us much luck so far.
And then we will look at side content. Welcome to the mod section of the review, where I'm going to review some of the mods that I used. And we'll go over. So, like the new one that stands out is the Cloak of Invisibility, which is kind of nice to see. If we go down, there's different brooms, but the only one I was ever interested in is ones in the books, which is like the Nimbus 2001 and the Firebolt, which is around somewhere. Well, that's interesting. The Gringotts cart. Okay. Yep. Y'all come up with some weird stuff, man. I'm telling you. UI, I did a lot of like character editing, companions, house point system I never did use. I had it, but downloaded, but I didn't use it. I just didn't find that I wanted to do any of this. Vendor restock is interesting. The different spells like apparate. Apparate was very useful to travel quicker and easier instead of trying to fly somewhere or even use some of the flu. Try to get to a flu thing and yeah. And then miscellaneous again, Cloak of Invisibility. It helped you get through some of the auto solves. There's a couple of those. There's the Elder Wand, which the Elder Wand. I'm gonna install that. See for later, and give me that as well. I wonder if they have the Resurrection Stone. Honestly, that would have been useful. The Field Guide Page Finder. Room of Requirement Expanded was interesting. So is that the auto ambience changes the ambience in the room requirement? Shattered Veil, what's that? Interesting. Troll in the dungeon. That's very interesting. That one just added 4 talent points. It was very not needed because of another one that was available. Time dilators. Backrooms to and Hogwarts. That seemed weird. That was just no. Bunch of UI. This looks interesting. Black cherry hair color. Some more hair colors. Jeez. They made Haggard into a broom. So because I'm on PC, there's a lot of mods I can just go into and enable. Like I did not under any circumstance go out to Nexus mods or any of the other ones out there just to get it. The big ones was like base models for me. The companions, getting different hairstyles, glasses, that type of thing. I did do some extra spells as well as dungeons were also on the list. And that looks like it. All of those, and then the mods that we actually enabled is we did the Expecto Patronum one because that is for the Dementors. When we did play through the entire game, we used that one. The reshape overhaul, we did do that. The additional hairstyles, Hogwarts hairstyles, we did do that. The one was great because it worked well. The other didn't work as well, which is the one being showcased, because different outfits would actually conflict with the hairstyle. And then it looked like the hair was actually sticking out of the outfit through the outfit. Blue Companions was nice because in certain areas it was nice to just bring someone along. We did do an Alahomora, but the one we did, I believe, was the level 3. So we waited until we picked up the Alahomora spell. And then from there, we used this. No, we used the level 3. It's down further. That way we could get the level 1, 2, and 3. Increase plants yield. Get more plants when you plant them in your greenhouse. Instant brewing. I didn't want to wait 15 minutes or however long for a potion to brew, so we used that. Increased capacity. Didn't want to overburden ourselves, so having the ability to have more resources was nice. because we were playing through and trying to get through as fast as possible, we did do the max talent points. Gave it a little bit more flair to the game, in my opinion. The auto season we did do, it didn't really showcase well, in my opinion. It didn't really turn up. We did do new spells, Second Sempra, which was in Half-Blood Prince of the books. The other one do not remember what it did. We did do the official school uniforms. We did do an auto ambience. I don't know if it actually worked because the ambience we seem the same in the room of requirement. So, yeah. We did do glasses, modern glasses. Even though it takes place in the 1800s, the modern glasses just look better than anything else. I don't know. Something I liked. Increased gear capacity again, so you don't have to be running somewhere to get rid of gear in the middle of a dungeon. More spells. Who can't argue with more spells? Scheduled NPC. That makes people run around, but I didn't want to do it. I chose not to. Being able to not fly in Hogsmeade seemed kind of dumb, so I enabled flying in Hogsmeade. I hated these trials, so I just skipped it, but I never finished all of them, so there's that. I didn't want to have to try to find money, so again, cheated, get through quicker. Room of requirement. So there's an additional room if you enable this, which was nice because then you had more room to put like your plants and all of your crafting stuff. Unlocking all the Flue Flame locations was nice. Easily travel anywhere. Flying Hogwarts. I do not suggest flying in Hogwarts. However, if you don't have it on, you can't even get close to Hogwarts. So I turned it on just so that I can fly into the courtyard and then drop and then walk everywhere else. New spells with talents. So enabled that. These are 2 quests that I never did. Maybe sometime. Character editor, we were able to edit our character in game, so I did do that one. Apparate was nice because you could just use the spell and disappear off to anywhere. You'd actually be able to choose the location, and it didn't have to be near a Flue location, I believe. Firebolt Nimbus 2000. That's the look of the room we wanted. Instant plants does not work. It will lock you at one point, at least when I last played it, because there's a quest that requires you to get a certain plant. You plant it, it instantly finishes, and you can't harvest. Locomotor seemed like a useless spell. Those stone statues didn't do anything. They don't move with you. They just kind of stand still and take up space. P plus. Yeah, so the second ending I did cheat plus. Just to showcase it and do the alt ending. Hair packs, yes. I love that outfit. That Phoenix robe looks amazing. So you did use it at one point. Dark magic outfits. Everybody knows I like black. So we did use that. Dark arts wardrobe, same thing. Anything hair, makeup, all that we did. Silent Revelio, that dinging was annoying. I'm so glad someone came up with this mod. It was great. Female face edit, yes, please. Gothic Victorian outfit, yes, we did that as well. The summon spells we did. I'm gonna put that on this time, and that, and that. Yes, that's just new stuff. So is that one, and that one's new. And then after all of that, you do the talent UI fix. Otherwise, it's hard to click on some of the spells to actually get them. But yeah, that's all of the ones that I used. There's a lot of mods here. 48 mods. Now granted, the layer and a couple of the new dungeons I didn't have before. The full Elder Wand, Cloak of Invisibility, Resurrection, Stone Ring I didn't have before, but doing it now. So now we're gonna discuss the final verdict of the game. So the final verdict for this game, I love this game. One drawback is it is a very long game. Like, you could spend hours playing this game because of all the side quests that are available. I did not do those side quests, but even still, there's a lot of content for main quests. You can actually miss spells because of not doing certain quests, so there is that as a con, I guess. The travel mechanic, slow. Lore relative, the flu portals are not, definitely not, because there's no flu portals in Hogsmeade or in Hogwarts anywhere, unless it got changed due to it used to be there and then they took it out. The only flu portal we actually had in Hogwarts was in Umbridge's office because they had to break in. So that was definitely a thing. Mods offered great opportunity. I'm glad that they were actually embedded into the game on PC where you didn't have to go out and search for them. So that was kind of nice. Combat was okay, but not anything to write home about. Skill trees, it seemed a little lackluster. I think it could have been better. There could have been more spells to start with instead of having to download mods just to get spells into the game. But the story, I feel, was fantastic with the ancient magic, talking to wizards long dead and paintings. Just the story itself was great, but there was so many side stories that sometimes you go off on a tangent and find it wasn't even part of the main story. Collecting the pages as a side option, I hated collecting pages. The leveling system was different. I don't like collecting things just to get levels. So if you didn't get to a certain level, it would actually lock you out from continuing, and then you'd have to do side quests just to move forward. So that was kind of annoying. And speaking of pages, see, I still didn't collect them all. But yeah, that's my final verdict. But still, I give this game a great rating, A+. But then I'm also biased because I am a Hogwarts fan. So do with this what you will. Leave a comment in below. Tell us your favorite house. Tell us your favorite spell. Tell us what you like about the game. Tell us what you didn't like about the game. And tell me if my review was actually worth the time. because this is the first game review and we're going to do more as we play through more games. Have a good one, guys. Peace.